Hello and welcome back to the Mancalorians, a Star Wars podcast. This is episode 3. I'm Jordan, that's Aaron, and yeah, we've got a lot I'd say quite a bit to talk about today. We're going to cover the last 2 episodes of Tales of the Empire. We're going to talk about the Acolyte and a little bit more of some other news, bits and bobs. But first off, Aaron, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm just deciding if it's actually episode 3 or if it's episode 4.
It is episode 4, you're right. At least someone's paying attention. Let's say episode
Yeah.
3. Episode 4. Episode 4. God, they're just going too quick. Just, losing track.
Yeah, man, it's cool. Don't worry. I'm good. How are you?
Good. I'm all right. So yeah, should we get straight
Yeah,
into
man.
it then?
Let's talk about these bits and bobs.
Bits and bobs, news. We'll talk about a little bit of games as well. Again, Star Wars Hunters is on the agenda this time. Which the little gameplay trailer came out a few days ago. At the time of this recording, and it's out a week today. It's going to be on Switch and Google Play and Apple through Apple Store as well on your phone. I don't have a Switch, so unfortunately I won't be able to play it on that. But I'm sure we'll both be giving it a go on our phones. But yeah, first off, Tales of the Empire. The last 2 episodes. We're now into episode 5. Tell the viewers what you thought.
So obviously it picks up where she gets on her first mission. Barriss is on her first mission on that ship. Do you remember? And then they land on a planet, go to a little town, and then we see the first little hint of Barriss is questioning on which side of the line she's walking on. You know, when they talk about the Empire and the town and how drained it's been. And then she goes, oh, the Empire brings prosperity or something like that. And then she's like, oh, well, then let's make them join the Empire. I really enjoyed that episode. I think for me, you know how I was expecting it to be quite... I was expecting it to be quite, very similar to Morgan Elsbeth's episodes, so episode 2 and 3, rather than 3 and 4 and 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I thought it was going to be like that, where the first episode's really good, and then the second one and the third one just kind of fall flat. But obviously, I said there's one thing that might save them, and it was the fact that they didn't have an already set story for Barriss. So I think when I watched episode 5, oh my god, all these episodes, man. So episode 5, I really enjoyed it. I actually really, really enjoyed it. I think I absolutely love this Tales of the Empire. I'm not going to lie to you. Obviously, the second episode and the third episode were a little bit of a letdown. They were enjoyable, bit short, but episode 5, I loved it. Episode 6, I absolutely loved as well, but I really enjoyed episode 5.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, same really. I think I was saying to you, I don't know if I said it to you last week or on the previous episode. This season, well, the episodes with that focus on Barriss, her arc, for me, were a lot more interesting. So shall we say? I think the episodes are more exciting, a little bit more going on, better character arc. Yeah, I think her episodes were definitely stronger out of the 2 characters. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was good. Nothing spectacular, shall we say. Was it better than season 1, as in Tales of the Jedi? Or what do you think?
Yeah, I think it was. See, Tales of the Jedi was really good, but all the episodes are very random. There was no flowing of a storyline, which is what I really liked with the Tales of the Empire stuff, because we got it set on 2 characters. It followed a little short story about them, but it worked so well. And that's what I was saying, with that episode 5, you first see obviously Barriss gets recruited into the Empire, and then she becomes an Inquisitor or a sister, and then she's put out, and then you even see that side of the Empire that no one really talks about, which is the bit where actually there is a bit of humanity there. There is something that's going on inside the brain. They're not all just pure evil and want to like destroy the world, even though despite Lynn absolutely slaughtering the village. But you know, there's that little bit of like, I guess like hope, or that little bit of doubt that's kind of in the back of the mind that just changes that opinion, and that's what we're seeing with episode 5. I think that's why I liked it so much, was because they set it just like little tiny little breadcrumbs at first, and like planted that little seed, and then obviously the child, like she's talking to the child, and you know, when she was talking to the child and she was saying to the kid like, you can tell me, you can trust me, I thought, what, can you trust her? Like, do you tell him? Do you not tell her? Like, what do you do? Because at that point, obviously she has the mask on. She takes the mask off, and then you think, oh, well, we know it's Barriss, but like, was that a moment of change for her as a character, where she's no longer part of the Empire? She takes that helmet off, and then it's Barriss again, and you're seeing that kind of good side to her rather than the helmet, which is like a representation of the Empire side, the bad side, the dark side. Potentially, which then obviously she's trying to protect the child, and then they run up the mountain and go and fight the jet. I loved that. I just loved that whole episode. I thought it was really good.
So what was your favourite part of the episode? What scene was?
I think my favourite part of, I mean, is the most standout part, which was the bit where, you know, she persuades the Jedi to hand over to drop his lightsaber and go in with her and go on the ship, and then Lynn slashes him, and then as they're walking back, Barriss is like, you've got one more to deal with, or whatever. I can't remember the exact word she says, but she says something like along those lines. Well, there's one more Jedi. And then Lynn turns to her and she like force pushes you off the edge. I think that was like the pinnacle moment, wasn't it, of the whole episode? But for me, obviously, it was the most standout part of the episode, because I didn't even see that coming. And my expectations from where they were originally to where they ended up completely switched. And I was like, wow, like they had me hook, line and sinker.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. That's probably my favourite part as well. I mean, when we were watching it, we watched it together. That shocked me. I did not see that coming. That was a good little twist, that I thought. That was a really good scene. Just did not see that coming at all. Just did not expect that. I was quite shocked, which was good. But yeah, no, I'd say overall it's probably is the best episode of the whole season. Across both seasons, to be fair, it's probably the best one. It's quite strong. So yeah.
But I feel like, excuse me, with all the Barriss' episodes, there was a lot of like surprise that you didn't see coming, because we don't know what her end story is. We don't know where she's at in terms of the current timeline. So that's what I mean. They could do so much with it. That's why I just assumed she was going to be part of one of the sisters, like one of the Inquisitors.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But no, it was good. It was good little twist. It was good to see it wasn't predictable. It wasn't a little bit boring like Morgan Elsbeth's episodes compared. And then we go into season episode 6, the last episode. You're gonna have to refresh my memory because I can't even remember.
So it starts off in like snow. It's like a blizzard, and there's a little family walking, and then next thing, it looks like a wampa just jumps out of the ground, and it's like, Rah.
I thought we were in Hoth.
What?
I thought we were in Hoth.
Well, yeah, that's
back in like the old days.
I think that was the whole plan. So then obviously pulls the gun, it puts its hands up, and it's like, no, or whatever it says. It says something, and then they like scurry off to this little hut, and you walk in, and then there she is, Barriss, old, wise. She's not. I don't think she's a Jedi, but obviously she's not. She walked away from the Jedi Order anyway, but she's you know, there, and she's helping people. So definitely on me.
So she's like Ahsoka. She's one of those grey
Jedis, yeah. basically, which actually is quite ironic considering the episode with Barriss and the episode with Ahsoka that in that final season. Is it the final season or the season before? I think it was season 6 of the Clone Wars where Barriss kind of stabs her in the back and then uses her as bait, and then it's quite ironic how. Well, not I don't know if it's ironic, but I like how they run parallel to each other almost, because you've got Barriss who gets captured, she does some bad deeds and gets captured, and you get Ahsoka who actually has been treated badly by the Jedi Order and then leaves, whereas Barriss was I think I can't remember what her justification was. I think it was something to do with a master, wasn't it? And she wasn't happy with what they did or how they dealt with it, so she wanted to sabotage them, but obviously got caught. So I thought that was a really good way how they kind of turned around, because she wasn't actually innately evil. She wasn't completely like the rest of all the Inquisitors. She actually was very much similar to Qui-Gon Jinn in that sense, where she could see the balance and she could see which line the Jedi were kind of edging towards, and she didn't want to be a part of it because of how they treated her. Which then obviously Ahsoka had the same reaction. So that's how I liked, in this episode 6, you kind of see the full circle of it, and you see the person she is, and actually, she kind of turns to the light side of the Force because it's there.
Mm-hmm. And then we see the return of the sister, the Inquisitor, who we thought she'd killed. We thought she'd force pushed off the mountain, whatever it was, and then she returns. They have a face off.
Not really, no. I don't think they fought.
Not a face off as in a duel, but like she approached Barriss, and then they say a few words, and then she goes after. She walks on past Barriss and tries to get after that family who went into this cave. It's a little bit of a maze. And then, Barriss eventually goes in the cave. The family get away. The Inquisitor gets lost. Barriss is in there, trying to wind her up, and then next thing you know, she kills Barriss. And I was just like, what? Did not see that coming again. I was like, you joking?
I know.
What do you think of that?
No, well, I was so surprised. I didn't think that was going to happen. I thought that maybe Barriss would have killed her because she wasn't going to turn to the good side. But I guess that was the whole point of it. Like it needed to happen for that to happen. But I just laughed because you said Barriss goes in to wind her up. Just like,
well, she's playing Jedi tricks on her, whatever. You can hear she could hear Barriss, and she couldn't. She was turning around. She couldn't see her while she was looking for the family. She was getting all confused, and then next thing you know, Barriss is dead. I was just like, what? It was probably more shocking than the previous episode when Barriss force pushed off the mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And then I felt like I felt really sorry for Barriss. Then I felt really sad, to be honest. I just didn't see that coming, and I thought, oh, come on.
I was gutted.
How many more times? I mean, it's probably the only time Star Wars have brought someone back that's actually gone on to kill someone. I can't think of anyone else. Everyone else that's come back that's supposedly dead or died. They never managed to kill anyone.
Maul came back. He slaughtered loads of people.
I mean, Maul came back and he killed people, right? But nothing, not like high profile.
Yeah.
He didn't kill any high profile people.
Not after he came back.
So that was quite shocking again, and it was good. It was sad. I felt really sad, and then I think it just ended, right?
No, so that was the end, but it didn't just end after she got stabbed. So Lynn kind of picks her up, doesn't she? She's still breathing. She's talking to her. So then Lynn picks her up. She carries her out of the cave. But that's what I loved about it, was the fact that I think she had to die, didn't she? She had to get stabbed for Lynn to realise what she'd done, to then try and fix it. Because I think that's that moment for Lynn, isn't it, where if Barriss if she didn't stab Barriss with a lightsaber, then Barriss you know, Lynn probably would have ended up fighting her and then trying to either dying or killing her, and she would still have been bad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like
Yeah.
the one thing that saved her was the fact that she just stabbed her. But we all know, like, if you get stabbed in the stomach with a lightsaber, you survive. Like, it's a common thing these days. There's only one person.
Where was the force heal? It's so inconsistent. I don't understand it.
Well, I think it's based around like Jedi
What is
powers.
it?
So, like, for instance, like some are more capable of doing one than the other. Like, you know, like when you play Battlefront, yeah, when you play Battlefront 2 and you know that Obi-Wan can like force push or like force pull, and then Anakin can't. He can't do that because he's not that good at it. And Yoda can like just block loads of things with the Force and like absorb the power. I think it's based around different characters that have more of a, I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Not symbiotic. Anyway, more like synergy with a certain type of.
Yeah, yeah. See, in my head, every Jedi can do the same thing. They've all got the same powers. They're all the same, but clearly they're not. And I seem to forget that sometimes.
Picture it like this, right? So some of them are really good at fighting, and some of them are really good at using the Force, and some well, the ones. Well, I guess if you look at it in terms of the fighting styles, they all get trained in all fighting styles, but then they specialize in one of them. So that's like the same, right? It's the same kind of thing. They all get trained in most things. Some can do it, and some can't. Like, I can't remember his name now. Voss. I think he's called Voss, and he can touch items and like see the past.
Oh, Quinlan Voss. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and not many other Jedi can do that. When we talked about Legends last week, and we talked about Bastilla, like she can give people like amnesia. Do you know what I mean? So.
Amnesia. Nice. Cool. Any other thoughts?
Well, I'll tell you what I was thinking, because we're kind of talking about Jedis and powers. Like, knowing all the different Jedi powers, if you could have a power, and this kind of goes for you guys who are watching as well, or listening, what Jedi power would you have, and why? So.
It's a very good question. Yeah, guys, please let us know in the comments. Send us an email. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Mine.
It's tough. It's tough because there's so many that you can kind of choose from. But I mean, like, obviously, if you've got access to every single one of them on a certain level, and then you can pick only one that you can specialize in, and you could potentially, like, you know, let's make it interesting. You can like merge them to an extent, you know, like force push with lightning or something.
Yeah, I was thinking that. For some reason, I just had Rey in my head from episode 9. You know, because she's the grandchild, not so grandchild of Palpatine. And you see her when she thought she killed Chewie with Rise of Skywalker. It turns out she's got the Palpatine electricity hands.
Has she?
Yeah, do you remember?
No, I don't remember that.
I can't remember what the planet was, the desert planet, midway through the film, where she thought she'd killed Chewie. Chewie got kidnapped.
Does he?
And then the ship was like, I'd literally just set off. And then she reaches out to like try and force pull it. She was, and then Force Electric comes out, whatever it is. Like Palpatine. Which makes sense because she's Palpatine's granddaughter.
Do you know what? I never even. No, I don't. That? Just the same way I didn't remember Leia floating through space.
In episode 8, yeah. We'll talk about that another time. It still annoys me, but yeah, I think I love the Force Dash. We never see it. We've only seen it once. I love that. I'd probably choose
Okay.
that one. In all fairness. What about you?
So I think if like if I was in like the Clone Wars, or if there was like a war going on and I had to become like a general or whatever, right? I'm a Jedi. I feel like the one that I would love to have is I think now you can correct me if I'm wrong. We only ever see it once, and it's in episode 7. Yeah, episode 7 when you first
Force
what?
Awakens.
Yeah, Force Awakens.
Force
Force
Awakens.
Awakens, yeah. And you first introduced to Kylo Ren, and he basically just goes
Yeah.
and just stops. Uh, he stops someone. He stops. Is it Poe? He stops Poe.
Oh, someone shot.
Yeah, and he stops Poe.
You can see
And then
the
as the
laser
camera
stop.
pans around, you just see like the blaster bolt just like whoa, 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 just like vibrating. It just looks so sick, but like the fact that he just does it, but he does it like in a whole area. Because I remember playing on KOTOR, and you could do it to like one person, and like rings appear around them. But like in reality, like Aaron just does it, and he stops like in like the whole area where he's kind of hit. It just looks so sick. I think that's the in terms of
Yeah.
like what would be more useful. I think that would be in terms of like a war, like the Clone Wars, or fighting against an opposition.
Yeah, that's mega. To be fair, I think I'd like to see more of that. I hope we see that again in Star Wars. That was mega. To be fair, we've never seen it since. We've never seen it before. You're right. That was the first time we saw it. Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, no, let us know in the comments. Send us an email to themancalorians@gmail.com. Let us know your thoughts. I want to hear your creative minds. Tell us, and yeah, we'll read them out on the next show. Any other thoughts?
No, I'm just thinking about what other powers can do. Like Bruce Almighty.
Yeah. Okay. Go on, I'm dying to talk about it. The Acolyte, we need to talk about it. I feel like we're talking about it every week. At the time of recording this right now, we are officially 1 week away from The Acolyte. First 2 episodes out on the first day. God, I'm excited.
Are you gonna watch them like straight away when they come out?
So obviously we're in the UK. So UK time, it's released at 2 a.m. UK time. 2 a.m.
2 a.m. on the 5th.
So yes,
Wednesday.
Yeah. So on the 4th it comes out in the US first. Well, at the same time as us, but they'll be still on the 4th. Yeah. So I think it's 2 a.m. UK time it comes out. And will I be watching it straight away? Probably, yeah, because my excitement has never been this high since, I don't know. I've probably not been this excited for anything Star Wars since The Mandalorian, which is first came, 3-4 years ago. And before that, Force Awakens, 2015, so 9 years. And I think, like we've said before, I think this one's going to be the best of the lot. This show is going to be the best of the lot. I hope, from what I've read. We'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, how excited are you?
I can't wait. You look more excited than me. I feel like I don't give much away, but I actually, even though I probably sound more sarcastic, I actually can't wait. I think it's going to be really good. I think it's something fresh.
Yeah,
I like how
it's
going backwards rather than forwards now, and I think it's going to bring something fresh and different to what we. And every time they've done something fresh and different, it's always been really good. And this is what I was trying to say a couple episodes ago. They did the Clone Wars, then they did Ahsoka, and Ahsoka was just like a continuation of Clone Wars. And it was, I mean, for my opinion, it was okay. The story was good, but the rest of it was a bit meh. And then you've got, they did what else did they do? Had Solo, right? They made Solo. I mean, I didn't mind Solo. It wasn't bad, but again, it wasn't fantastic. But then they released The Mandalorian, which was like completely fresh. Great. Yeah. Rogue One. Again, obviously, it was just before, but it was complete new characters. It had apart from it just joining on to the story of episode 4, it just it was it kind of could have been just standalone. Do you know what I mean? And it was actually really good. So I feel like when they're doing this now, they're going to bring something completely fresh, something completely new, and it's going to be really good because it's going to be something we've never seen. And when they do something that we've never seen, it seems to just land so well.
I agree. So they need to do more of it. We touched on that last week. New material, new characters. Keep giving us fresh stories, fresh characters. I want to see new Jedis, new ships, new planets, frigging everything. New creatures. Yes, go on, get the joke in. It's coming.
I wasn't going to say it, didn't cross my mind.
It did. It did cross your mind. You get the gist. But no, we've seen the last few days, or I've seen, told you a little bit about them. Some non-spoiler reviews. Obviously, the world premiere was just under a week ago in America, and the UK premiere was last night, I believe, in London. And I've seen quite a few non-spoiler reviews, and I'm even the excitement levels have gone up a few notches. Let's put it that way. You know, I've been reading things like Jedi Master Saul is apparently one of the best Jedis in a long time. I read someone said that he's their favourite Jedi since Qui-Gon Jinn. So that's, 25 years since The Phantom Menace. You've not really seen him in anything else. The fighting choreography, the cinematography is all amazing. I've read a few people that went to the premiere, or either one. Most of them saw the first 2 episodes, but then a few people that I've seen online have said that they've watched the first 4 episodes, and yeah, all the reviews are absolutely outstanding. So yeah, very, very excited. I've not seen anything negative whatsoever, and yeah, it's a mystery. It's a mystery series. Apparently it's more Andor than Mandalorian vibes, which is cool. I think Andor's one of the best things.
Yeah, I agree. I think I like the fact that it's more Andor than Mando. I think Mando is very much, I don't know how to describe it. It's good, but it's like, what's the best way? There's like a lot of fillers, I think, in Mando, whereas with Andor it was like just a continued story. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I kind of like the fact that it's more Andor than it is Mando, because it's not just going to be like filler episodes of like, oh, I'm just going to go and find this bounty and take them. Like, they're actually going to have an episode that means something, and that every single character is on a journey, and they've got to do something that episode that actually has an impact on the story.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. So yeah, Jedi Master Saul is one of the stars of the show. Another one, May, who we'll touch on in a minute, the former Padawan of Jedi Master Saul, who we learned recently. Yeah, apparently she steals the show. She's one of the best characters so far in the series, so that's exciting. And yeah, should we touch on the recent trailers? There's been a few kind of 30 seconds to a minute trailers recently. I know that the marketing's been so good from the Acolyte, and yeah, they seem to be dropping like trailers every other day, like 30 to 60 seconds. But first, can we just talk about the poster that came out about a month ago?
Well,
we spoke about it. We spoke about it at the time.
If you're going to talk about what I think you're going to talk about, then I think we need to put like a spoiler warning here, just in case this is actually true.
Well, yeah, but we can. But this is just speculation.
I know it is.
Just because you might think it's true doesn't mean it is going to be true. And I'm sure a lot of people...
But some people, they might not want to hear it. That they might actually just want to... You might want to just be in the dark and like see the mystery unsolved, rather than think like, oh, this is what's going to happen, and then it potentially happen. Because sometimes I feel like when I watch things, that if I've got it in my head, like I know what's going to happen, it kind of ruins the reveal. When if something caught me off guard, and then I watch it and it catches me off guard, then I'm actually even more surprised. Do you get what I'm saying? Like with Barris, if we watched that knowing that Barris was going to die, it wouldn't be as shocking as it was when we didn't know.
Yeah, you're right. So you know what? Whatever we're going to say now, just ignore us. Just put us on pause, and then we'll be back in 10 minutes. So yeah, this is basically not a spoiler. But yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the Acolyte.
I'll put a little pause in with a little thing to say. Fast forward to this time, and whatever time that is.
Yeah, a little disclaimer. Yeah,
it'll
perfect.
be here.
So yeah, the poster. So we touched on the poster. Really good poster that officially came out around a month ago. We got that was when the first official trailer came out. If you want to get the poster up, just to refresh, but I've got it in my mind clear as day. So we spoke about it a few weeks ago. It's probably on our first episode. If you haven't watched it already, give it a watch. The poster it's got all of the characters in, really. I think it's a really good poster. And then there was something I noticed the other day when we spoke about it. On the poster, there's one particular character that appears twice. It didn't even... I didn't even click onto it. It just didn't occur to me at all until the other day, until I learned about something else. We've discussed it. So, do you want to tell the viewers who are watching, maybe some are, and listening still, who that character is and what our conspiracy is, let's say?
Yeah, so there was talks about May being on the poster twice. And if you actually look at the poster, because I've just got it up here now, but if you actually look at the poster, you've got May on one side and May on the other side. However, there was a spoiler kind of warning potentially, and it was to do with some subtitles. I don't know what country it was in. However, the subtitles had, I think this was it on Twitter? Someone spotted it, and as soon as they put it up, it got taken down really quickly. But basically, I can't remember. What was that name now? It was like it began with S.
I think it began with a V. With a V.
It began with S.
Yeah, V. An S or V. I think it's a V. I've got V in my head. I might be wrong. But yeah, different names showed up on the subtitles.
Yeah, different names showed up on the subtitles when I think this masked May was fighting or talking, and then when you see May later on and she's outside, it was her name. So someone quickly picked up on the fact that in the subtitles there was two separate names, so there were two separate characters, and that's the whole theory behind it now, where they think that actually May has a twin, and that twin is the one that's done the murder, and we're trying to hunt down May because it looks like May. And that's why at the end of the trailer, she's like, "It's not me." So if you look at the actual poster, you can see two versions of her. One with a mask and one without a mask. And one's kind of like on the light side, where you've got all your heroes, and then the other one, which I did not pick up on this, has the mysterious Sith supposedly character that's there as well. And I didn't even pick up on the fact that he was in the poster, but he's there with May on that side, which is almost like representation of the dark side. So that was one theory. And then obviously there's the second theory, which when I first looked at the poster and I seen that there was two Mays on there, I just didn't even realise, and I just thought in my head it was a representation of her on the light side of the Force and her on the dark side of the Force, and kind of towing that line between the two of them. That was my thought process behind it, which I think that's why the marketing team we need to discuss this, because the marketing team for Disney have been phenomenal. Like, give them guys a raise, because how they've done this is, I don't know, they've given us so much, but then they've given us so little.
Yeah, we said that last week on the last episode. I feel like they've given us so much, yet we still it's still a mystery. We're still really intrigued. There's still so much intrigue and excitement, and we just don't have a clue what's going to happen or what it's about. I mean, we've got an idea what it's about, but at the same time, we don't have a clue. So yeah, when we spoke about this the other day, I was like, wow. So yeah, the marketing's been outstanding. The marketing has been superb, to be honest. So
It
yeah,
reminds me of
or
it reminds me of there was a film, wasn't there, right, with Hugh Jackman in. It's Hugh Jackman though, and it's got Hugh Jackman and Christopher Bale. The Prestige. It's like I feel like it's going to be like the Prestige. So this whole twin thing has been. Oh my god! Well, still spoilers, by the way. But this whole twin thing has been a thing before. Like if you watch the Prestige, it happens in that. So and it was like a big reveal in that. But obviously with the Acolyte and being Star Wars and it being like millions of people watching it and it being so big, people just picked up on the thing so quickly. But yeah, I think the reveal's been done before. It's not going to be brand new if that is the case, but it will be quite cool. I just actually hope it's not that though. I really hope it's not a twin thing. I just think they're a bit naff.
I mean, I quite like the idea of a twin thing. To be fair, we've not really seen it before in Star Wars, not in live action anyway. I think something a bit different. I personally think it'll be a good little twist, even though I'm kind of thinking that's what it is. I hope that it's not in a way because I don't want to. I want to be really surprised or shocked if it is, and I feel like the more I talk about it, what we've just touched on, the more I'm going to be less like.
Exactly, and we are.
Could it just be? Could it just be a flashback scene?
What do you mean?
Well, who's to say that there is two minis or that she's a twin? Maybe it's just a flashback scene. We know there are flashback scenes in the series.
Yeah, but why would it? What would it be? The flashback be of though?
Or will be revealed in.
I don't think it is. I don't. Why would she have a different name if it's a flashback?
Just thought of it. May's a clone. Boom.
Yeah, I thought that as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She won't be a clone though. It wasn't unless I think the Camino was invented. I don't think they would have done it in that time period.
Yeah, it was over 100 years before Attack of the Clones. So maybe not. So yeah, the least likely then is that she's a twin. We're gonna go with that.
Yeah, I think that's the common thought process that everyone's got, isn't it?
Yeah, it makes the most sense. If it's not a twin, then fair play. They've really messed with our heads, which I like. Yeah. But speaking of films, just quickly, have you seen The Fugitive?
With Hugh Jackman? Like, does he have to go and find his daughter?
No, it's one of my favourites. Well, actor-wise, Harrison Ford.
Oh,
1993.
Well off.
Harrison Ford film.
Don't know what I was thinking of.
It's a good film. Yeah, I read one of the reviews. They likened it to a fugitive type story. So basically, Harrison Ford's on the run. If I can remember rightly, he's on the run. He's been framed for murder. So that kind of story. We kind of know what type of story it's going to be. We're still trying to work out all the pieces, but yeah, the reviews are really good. So possibly she's a twin, possibly not. We've ruled out that it's a flashback scene or scenes. Okay, fine.
I think. I just think that even though we've got this whole mystery about some Jedi's been murdered, and we think that it's May's twin sister that's done it. There was a line in the most recent trailer that says it's something along the lines of, I wish I'd wrote it down now, but it really sparked my mind because I thought this is what I said last week, but it said you think it's about it, but it's actually about something else, and I was like, what does that line mean? And then I think to myself, what we were talking about last week. this whole story about obviously the Jedi being murdered, I don't think that is the plot. I don't think that is the story. I don't think that might come to. We might get the answer to that halfway through the season, and then the rest of the season is going to be something completely different. That's my thought process, anyway.
Yeah, possibly. So you think that will just be to do with May and a twin? You don't? Do you think then that will be separated from who this Sith Acolyte is, if you will, or right? Okay, so kind of two plots, two stories. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I think you touched on it last episode. You touched on that. You're not convinced that it's just going to be a murder mystery.
I'm not.
That's what it's being sold as.
And it will be, but I think it's going to be something else as well.
Yeah, they don't want to give too much away. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Moving on. We another one of these. Well, it could have been in. Is it the same trailer that with May and then the different name and subtitle? Could be that trailer where in the shot. Oh no, it's another trailer. It was the one after. It was a featurette on Master Soul. Behind the scenes, a little bit. There's some new shots in there as well. We see what appears to be Plo Koon in the background of one of the shots. Appears to be. It could just be. It might be him. It might not be. It could just be one of his species. We don't know, obviously. This is all just pure speculation. I'm going to say that it is him because by the time that he did die during, Order 66, he was 382 years old, basically. So in this, he's going to be just over 200, so still very old. So timeline-wise, it makes sense. He would be around. Whether it's him or not, again, we don't know. We can't confirm it. I'm just going to go and say that it is. And you're going to tell us that it's not. So
I'm not going to tell you that it's not. What I'm going to tell you that he's the May with a mask. That's who he is. He's just going to.
Imagine that would be so.
I've just been thinking, right, and I've watched a lot of videos recently, and a lot of people talking about it potentially being Plo Koon, right? And I watched an interview with Dave Filoni, and someone said, "Are you going to bring him back? Why can't you bring him back? Because we don't, if he was stood like where Ahsoka was, and all the clone troopers started shooting at him, he would be able to deflect all them bolts and take them all out and be fine." Dave Filoni's like, "Well, yeah, that's why he dies in a ship, right?" And then they were like, "Well, would he ever come back?" And Dave Filoni says, "Well, no, I had this conversation with George, and no, he won't be coming back." So the fact that they were talking about that in an interview makes me think that people do want to see him, and they do want him to be more of an apparent figure. The only thing is, we've got the cast, we've got all the characters, and this figure that's supposed to be Plo Koon that we see a couple of times here and there, there's no other mention of him. Are they keeping it under wraps because they want it to be a really big reveal for everyone, so that it kind of does that fan pleasing aspect of it? I think that might be, that's the only option I can see it being.
That's what it'll be because you've seen it in times in film, TV in the past where they'll reveal a character, let's say Plo Koon, and he won't be. He's not going to be. If it is him, which I think it is, he's not going to be a main character. It's going to be like a cameo. He's not going to be a main character. So then, when it does get revealed, after like a few days or so, it will then be his name on Wiki or whatever in the credits. It will be listed as actor Plo Koon. Yeah. That's what they'll do. They've done it loads before. They'll do it again. Everybody does it in film and TV. A lot of the times. So yeah, if it is him, which I think it is, I don't think he'll be he's not going to be a main character. So yeah, that's what I think.
I don't. Well, I don't know if it will be like a little cameo. I'm hoping it's not a cameo. If he's in it, he should be in it. It shouldn't just be a, a quick hello and then a bye bye driver. It should just be, I'm here. Do you know what I mean? I'm staying.
Yeah. No, I hope it's more than that. Yeah. I hope it's more than that.
But
Yeah,
talking
we'll see.
about quickly, because I know we mentioned a different film before. There was a film. I think it was Seven. I think it was. It was either Seven or the Usual Suspects, right? And in the film, what they did was the whole advertisement behind it, right, was based around like trying to make sure that no one knew who the person was, right? Because I think at the time Kevin Spacey used to get hired to play these roles, and everyone knew that he was going to be this bad person that turned up, right? I might be wrong here, but I think it was Seven, All the Usual Suspects, I'm pretty sure it was Seven, they removed him from all of the advertisement, removed him from all the cast list and everything, and then when they released the film, when you finally see who the guy is, it turns out that it's Kevin Spacey, and that was like the reveal as they figure out who the killer is. You can see that it's Kevin Spacey, because everyone would have known otherwise. Like, so
yeah, yeah.
So it's done. It's been done. I think that was the best one that did it. But if you've not watched Seven, you've not watched The Usual Suspects. I say go and watch them. And I say to you guys, go and watch The Usual Suspects. I think is fantastic. It's one of my favourite films. It's really good.
Yeah, classic. Yeah, both good films actually. Yeah. What else? So, are there any stuff just before we move on? Are there any other moments in any other recent trailers, apart from the one today that I'm going to discuss that came out earlier today, for you? Or
Oh, I think there's been that many of them now. They all just kind of merge into one, and I have no idea what's going on anymore.
Yeah. Excuse me. Yeah, very true. We see a lot of the same scenes and stuff, and yeah. So there was a trailer earlier today, which was a featurette. We saw some new shots, and we see a Jedi Vector ship that we've not seen, I believe, since Revenge of the Sith. If I remember correctly. I think so, anyway. It's a nice looking ship, so that was cool to see.
Ah.
Can't believe you'd have
to I know. I've never seen one of them in my life.
You don't remember that Revenge of the Sith?
No, when was that in Revenge of the Sith?
Yeah, there was a few of them. I can't remember what scene it was. Yeah, can't remember what
was
scene.
Was it the opening scene? It might have been the opening scene. Oh, potentially could have been. No, I don't remember them.
You don't remember? I do remember. It wasn't the opening scene. It was
when the clones start attacking.
It was in Revenge of the Sith halfway through. It was none. It was.
Is it the ones that blew up Plo Koon?
No, so I'm sure if my memory serves me right. The Jedi Vectors were in Revenge of the Sith, and it was non-Jedis in them as well, piloting the ships. Just Google quickly, Jedi Vector Revenge of the Sith.
I have. I can't find anything. I feel like you've dreamt this or you've made it up. I can't find anything.
I've not made it up. I haven't made it up. They were definitely in Revenge of the Sith. And I might be wrong, but it was they weren't Jedis that were piloting the ships as well.
I can't see anything, mate.
Anyway, it's in one of the new trailers. It's in today's trailer. We see a shot of a Jedi Vector. What looks like a Jedi Vector, sorry. It might not be, it might be something similar, something different, we don't know. but it looks like a Jedi Vector. It's a very cool, nice looking ship, so I hope it is.
It looks like, I don't understand. It just looks like a fly.
Yeah, because it flies.
Yeah, they all fly, but
Anyway, you're not a fan of the ship then?
I mean, it looks decent, I guess. It's
Yeah.
just, you know.
I was not impressed. Okay, moving on. Any other thoughts? Any other Acolyte news?
I just think, I'm sorry, I just think that Vector looks slightly. It doesn't look like it's very Star Warsy to me.
Guys, let us know in the comments, or if you're listening, send us an email. Let us know your thoughts on a Jedi Vector. I want to hear your thoughts on what you think of the ship. Is it cool? Is it not? Does it look like a fly? Is it boring?
And also, let me know what film it's in, because I can't find it in Revenge of the Sith.
It's definitely in
So
Revenge
find
of the
me a
Sith,
link and send it
100%.
me, please.
Yeah, let us know in the comments. Send us an email. Let us know. Okay, cool. Moving on, we're going to talk about games. We spoke about a few games last week. KOTOR, Republic Commando. We spoke about like reboots and remakes that we want to see, games that we liked from the past, loved from the past. And then, yeah, this week, 2 days ago, I believe it was, we got the official launch gameplay trailer of Jedi Hunters, which again is going to be released on Nintendo Switch, Apple, via the Apple Store, and Google Play via your mobile device. It's out on the 4th of June, which is also the release date of the Acolyte. So that should be a fun day. Yeah, it looks like a fun little game. Again, I'm just a little bit gutted. I don't have a Nintendo Switch. Don't think I'm going to buy it anytime soon. I would have liked to have played it on the Switch, but I'll have to set up for the phone. And
I'm just thinking, like, I'm travelling so much next week. So on Tuesday, when this comes out, I've got to travel. So I'm working, I finish work, and I've got to travel to Birmingham. I might be able to play it at the night time, meet up with a couple of people. Might be able to, later on, maybe have a couple of hours on it. But I might. My sister has a Switch. I might steal that and see if I can just.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, she's got a Switch. Yeah, so I might steal it, play on that.
Quietly, yeah.
But only if it's cross-platform. If it's not cross-platform, we'll play it together. But if it is we'll play it on mobile. But if it's cross-platform, I'll be on the Switch for sure.
I remember. Yeah, I can't remember if it is.
I'll find out now. Good time.
Yeah. Can you also play on the iPad as well? I assume you can, or an iPad would be. I don't even own an iPad anymore.
I'm sure you can.
iPad would be, yeah, it's via the Apple Store, isn't it? It's all the same. So, yeah, you should be able to.
iPads and tablets, they're all just massive phones, aren't they, really? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, true. Yeah. Is it crossplay? Can you give us the good news?
Oh. It's saying that it's on mobile phones, Nintendo Switch mobile phones, Android and iOS. So if you have a tablet, I'm sure you can get Android. If you've got an iPad. It slipped my mind then. I completely forgot what it was. Then I'm sure you'll be able to get it. Yeah, it should work. I don't see why it wouldn't work. If not, you can probably find you'll get a what's it called for it at some point anyway. And there's like workarounds for it. But yeah, it's on mobile and it's on Nintendo. And is it cross-platform? Let's have a look. Crossplay. It will connect people real-time battling so Star Wars Hunters will connect via crossplay to battle in settings. In real time via crossplay. So yeah, it is crossplay.
We're going to be battling it out. But yeah, what did you think of the little trailer? It looks like a full little game.
It looks really cool. So I've been following it for years, to be honest. It got announced like 5 years.
Yeah, it got announced a few years ago, and then it got delayed, and then they finally gave us a release date.
I'm gutted because I applied for the beta and I
Okay.
never even got an email back.
Yeah, I did as well. I was just going to say, yeah, I
Well,
applied for the
did we
beta,
do it
but I
again
never
this
got
year?
an email.
Me and you. I'm sure we both applied this year for it.
Possibly, yeah. I remember doing it, but yeah, never got anything back. But never mind. I'll play it next week, and we'll see how.
So
we get
before we
on.
do though, I've got a
Um,
list of characters here now. I'm going to read out to you, right? I want you to tell me
yeah,
which one that you think you'll play as, because each character is going to do something different. So if no one knows what the game's like, it's kind of going to be like League of Legends esque. It's going to kind of be like, what was that game on the Nintendo? You can get it on your phone, and it's Pokemon. And basically, I'll just describe the whole concept that I think it's going to be like, or as what I've kind of read in the past. It might slightly changed, but it's basically like almost like a tower defense. So they're not called tower defense now; they're called something else. But you basically pick your character, have your team. I think it's 4v4 or 5v5s, and you have to like. It's very similar to like Overwatch. You have to go to a point, take the point, while the other team push, get 1 point. I don't know if there's going to be lanes, so I don't know. I'm not sure if there's going to be 3 separate lanes, but I feel like that's the idea behind what it's going to be. Because if I'm correct, it is going to be like League of Legends, just on a smaller scale.
it's 4v4, right?
It's either 4v4 or 5v5. I think it's 4v4, depending on
Yeah.
which character you pick. Because I know you can get 2 Jawas.
Go on, read the
So
characters
you've
out.
got
Let's start.
Diego, right? And Diego is a Miraluka sharpshooter. You've got Char, who's a Trandoshan trapper, Sprocket, a Mon Calamari prodigy, Sentinel, an Imperial heavy gunner, Scorer, a Rhodian sawbones, Groz, a Wookiee juggernaut, which does sound pretty epic to be fair, Imara Vex, an unrelenting bounty hunter, Zaina, a rebel war hero, Reeve, or Riev, the affirmationed dark side assassin. This one's really cool. J3DI, which when you look at it, it's J-3DI, which spells Jedi, is a Jedi droid.
Has he got a
Yeah,
lightsaber?
it's a Jedi with
Okay.
it's a droid with a lightsaber. You've got
That's
a
sick.
Toonie, a duo of Jawa scavengers. That's the two that I was talking about before. Who have like they sit on like a little. It looks like a makeshift gun cannon thing that they've made, and then they start firing at people. And then you've got Slingshot, who's an Ugnaught speedster using a droidica. Oh, he's the tiny little thing that sits inside the droidica. And then you've got Arantal. That'll be me. A Mandalorian Vanguard.
Oh yeah, I was reading about that the other day. Yeah, cool.
That's
Is
all
that
the
it?
characters, but there's quite a lot to be fair. I thought there was only going to be a few, but there seems to be quite a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, 13. That's not right. Surely there's more than. There can't be 13.
They might bring more out as the months go on. I don't know.
Where's 13?
But yeah, my pick. Guess.
The Jedi. I knew
Yeah.
it. But
it was between him or her and the
Wookiee, I knew
assassin.
it. Yeah, I knew it. But if I'm correct, the characters are exactly the same on both sides, so it's fair. So like, even though the skins look different, they might have slightly different abilities, but they're all gonna have like this. They're basically like identical. I think, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
So I mean, I hope that was I'm reading this years ago. I hope that they're not. I hope that they all have pros and cons, because that's how you fight each other. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
if they're
they will
both the
do, yeah.
same, you've got your dark side assassin and you've got your Jedi droid, and they both go up against each other. Who's going to win? Because they're both exactly the same. Whereas, they should have one one ability that does something that the other one can counteract, or it's weak against, or strong against. Like, that's how it should. Which I can't see it not having that, because that's what's in most multiplayer games
Yeah.
anyway. But I'm going to go onto the website now.
Who are you picking? Tell us who you picking.
I would probably choose. I quite like the look of the hunter, the bounty hunter. I like the look of that bounty hunter. But I also like the look of the Jawas and the Jedi and Slingshot, the guy who sits in the little droideka. So if you actually go on the website, you can see all the pictures. I might stick a little post out and just do a little bit of information on each one, similar to what we've got for the Acolyte, just before it gets released, so everyone can kind of read and see what different characters are and see which one you'll choose. But yeah, on the website there's some screenshots of each one, and they look quite cool. Sprocket looks quite funky, to be fair. He's starting like a little floating ball.
Did you say you'll be bringing out some content? You mean us will be?
Yeah, man, of course, yeah. Yeah. Obviously, us like us, is it?
Oh, really signaling me out. Anyway, no, it looks good. It looks fun. We'll find out in a week. Let us know your thoughts. If you play it, I'm sure a lot of you will. Do let us know in the comments.
Oh, Aaron Tal.
Aaron
Tal, yeah, isn't out yet.
That's got your name written all over it.
He's not out yet. It's coming soon. That's why. So we're gonna see them later on. That'll be the first character. But yeah, interesting for sure.
For sure.
Oh, they're all different. There's different class types. Interesting. You've got damage, you've got tank, you've got support. Obviously, you've got support. Like I said, it's very League of Legends-esque. Different roles. Like what role would you be, do you reckon? Attack, tank, or support? Damage, yeah? Yeah, well, the Jedi is the damage one. So is the two Jawas, though. The Toonie. Do you know what, right? I always love, like, when I play these games, I always love being, like, attacking characters or damage, DPS characters. But I'm so bad at them. And then I'm really good at, like, stealth characters or support characters. I'm okay at tanking, but I usually die. I'm not very good tank. But I like support characters. I usually, like, dominate, like, especially like Overwatch. I did like a bit of Overwatch back in the day.
Nice. Anything else?
Nah, mate.
Cool. Shall we touch on Andor briefly?
Yeah, briefly, yeah, if you want.
We have some news. I have some news. I'm sure some of you might have already seen. So Adria Arjona, who plays Bix Kalin in Andor, she did an interview recently with Collider, I think it was a day or two ago, and she touched on Andor Season 2, which wrapped filming a few months ago. It was meant to go out this year, but unfortunately got delayed until next year. No release date yet, but we assume it's going to be 2025 at some point. Anyway, she did an interview with Collider, and she was talking about the time jumps in Andor Season 2. Tony Gilroy, who is the creator of Andor, he announced in November last year, I think it was, that there's going to be some time jumps in the Season 2, the last season. Didn't really give anything away. That was all. And she's now announced that the time jumps are going to be... There's going to be two, basically. So there's going to be the first 2 episodes, then it's going to go forward a year. Then there's going to be another 3 episodes, then it's going to go forward a year again, so twice. And then there's going to be the last 3 episodes. So 9 episodes in total. 2 time jumps in between, basically.
Oh, okay. I get it. Sorry. For some reason, I thought you meant like
So
flash
I mean,
forwards, like a little flash forward into the future, not like a flashback, but like going forward into the future. Didn't realise it was actually just going to jump completely in time. Ah.
yeah, which is quite cool. Something we've never
Mm.
done before. Something I've never seen. So yeah, what are your thoughts?
Oh, it's very interesting. We have seen it before. We have seen it in Star Wars. Yeah,
Have we?
we've seen it in Tales of the Empire in Episode 5 when it jumps forward by like so many years, and then we see Barriss like older.
You're right. We also saw it in the last episode of Bad Batch.
Well, there's a
Okay,
lot of
I'll
time
refresh.
jumps
We
recently,
haven't.
isn't there?
Ooh, we haven't seen it in live action
No.
yet. I don't think. So yeah, this is pretty cool. Very intriguing. Obviously, we know what happens at the end of Andor. Rogue One. Well, we don't know yet the the time difference between Andor season 2 and Rogue One the film. But if I remember right, Andor season 2 ends where Rogue One begins, which is very similar to where obviously Rogue One ended and A New Hope began. So that's pretty cool how they've
So
done that.
what's the
But yeah, 2 time jumps. So.
what's the timeline then? When does it pick back up then after its 3 episodes? Jumps forward in time. At what point is that going to be at? Because that's going to be somewhere between A New Hope and Empire, right?
No, so we're still many years off. We're still quite a few years off Rogue One and A New Hope. So from what I can gather, season 2 is going to pick up pretty much straight after season 1. There's going to be 3 episodes in season 2, present day, straight from season 1, I assume. Then after the 3 episodes, we're into the next year.
I misunderstood, but
and then there's 3 episodes, and then it goes forward a year again, and then we've got the final 3 episodes. Then it will end, and then at the ending, I assume Rogue One will be about to begin, pretty much, and then obviously we know what happens in Rogue One. So yeah, that's what's going to happen. So yeah, something new, something different. Andor is very, very good. I think we can all agree on that. It's probably the best. Second best, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
I can say
Depends.
Could be the best. A lot of people think it's the best. A lot of fans think it's the best. I still think it's number 2 behind Mando, personally. But because it was so different. It was very political. It was just very different. We haven't really seen anything like Andor.
Yeah, it was a whole different. It was a whole different concept, and I liked that it was completely different, and we've seen so many different sides of Star Wars that we'd never seen before, which I thought was really, really cool. Whereas with Mando, we've seen a lot of similar, like settings. The settings are very similar. The storylines are very similar.
Yeah, we know the settings. There's a lot of action. It's generic in that sense. It's very good. Whereas Andor was completely different. It was a political drama, thriller-ish kind of vibes. Something different. It was really, really good. Something different, sorry. And Tony Gilroy, he also wrote Rogue One, which is, in my opinion, still the best film. Still the best Star Wars film Disney have done, is Rogue One. So I'm glad they got Gilroy back to do Andor, season 1 and season 2. He's a very good writer, and I've got no doubt that season 2 is going to be just as good, if not better. And I'm excited, very excited. I'm just gutted, I'm sure we all are, that it got pushed back to next year. But again, we've touched on it briefly in the last few episodes. We've been spoiled this year. We've had a lot. We've still got a lot more to come. We've got the Acolyte next week, about to begin. We've just had Tales, the Bad Batch. We've got Skeleton Crew towards the end of the year, so it's not like we've not had anything. So next year we're definitely going to have Andor season 2, and then probably going to have Ahsoka season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's my prediction. Yeah. Any other thoughts around it?
No, I think like you said, we've been spoiled. It's a shame we've got to wait, but understandably, do you know what? I don't mind waiting for things, because when it comes to waiting, you can't rush perfection, and I think if you rush things,
Well, it's not that. Fortunately, it's not that. I mean, I'm glad it's not that, in a sense that, well, so it wrapped filming about 2-3 months ago. So by the time we get it, it will be at least a year before it wraps, and I'd assume they're probably still they're probably editing a few things right now. They're probably just a few finishing touches, but by the time we get it, it will be well overdue. But yeah, I know what you're saying. It's good to. We don't want to see things rushed.
No.
And I think we don't want to see. I think that's where the sequels went wrong a little bit. They weren't necessarily rushed, but there was a lot of changes midway through. There was a lot of directors joining and then leaving, writers joining and then leaving, and it was just a bit all over the place, which we'll touch on in the future at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, final say? Your final say? Go on, you were saying before I rudely interrupted.
Yeah, I don't mind things being pushed back. I think sometimes they need it, and it's worth the wait, to be honest. That was it, really. I wasn't really going to say much else.
Fair enough. Yeah, it builds suspense as well.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I was going to say, though, obviously, you said we've been spoiled shame. We've got a couple of things to look forward to. But, there's also Outlaws as well, which is a complete new story, which I think is going to keep people busy for a little bit of time as well. Probably over that summer period. And then we're going to get... So we'll get Acolyte, then we'll get Outlaws, and then we'll get Skeleton Crew, I believe.
Yeah, Outlaws is probably going to be out October time, I think it is. So it won't be over the summer, unfortunately.
Why have I got in my head that it comes out in July?
I don't know, I'm pretty sure it's October. I mean, we'll be playing Hunters in the summer, it's all good.
Do you know what? You're right, though. You are right. I think it comes out in the end of August, doesn't it? Star Wars Outlaws.
I've got October in my head.
I found the date for you now. 30th of August. There you go.
Oh, there we go.
Literally.
Okay, and then at the end of summer, we'll be smashing that for sure. Yeah, so to be fair, this year we've had 4 seasons and 2 games? That's 6 different Star Wars things. Is that the most we've ever had in a year from Star Wars? I think it is.
God knows. I have no idea. I think it is. I think.
When I say we've been spoiled, it's not an exaggeration. We genuinely have been spoiled. Obviously, we hope it's all, most of it, I assume, I hope, it's gonna live up to the hype. It's all gonna be really good. Most of it.
Also,
hope.
Do you know what else is coming out this year? Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy.
Yes, that's the 5th season. Oh my god, they've absolutely. But that's an early Christmas present. When's that?
September 13th. Yeah, just after Outlaws.
Yeah. Oh my. Jeez, we're being spoiled. That looks really funny. We've touched on that briefly. But yeah, can't wait to see Darth Jar Jar in action. Yeah, it looks funny.
Yeah.
But yeah. Any other final thoughts before we wrap up?
I'm good. We'll call a wrap.
No. All good. Brilliant. Well, I actually forgot to mention it at the start. But please subscribe to us on YouTube at the Mancalorians. We're also on Spotify, YouTube Music, and what else are we on? Apple Music as well. Apple Podcasts. Sorry, we've had a few issues recently with uploading the pods, so there might be a little bit of a delay there. But we are on there. We should be on there again very soon. But yeah, please subscribe to us if you haven't already. Like, share, comment, favourite, spread the word, let everyone know who we are. As always, let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you are listening to us, then please drop us a preferably 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Send us your questions, send us your comments. We do read everything. We see everything. And yeah, as always, we appreciate you watching us. And yeah, you can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X at the Mancalorians. We post daily, a few times a day sometimes, giving you the best content. Anything news-wise, reviews, debates, on everything Star Wars. Legends as well. We don't forget about Legends. I'm still learning a lot about Legends, so we're always going to cover Legends as well. But yeah, we appreciate your support so far. Thanks to everyone who's following us, followed us, liked our posts, shared our posts. We really do appreciate it. But yeah, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.